Brokenhearted, an Adrienette fanfic. Why? Why had he done it? Am I not good enough? What makes her so much better than me? What is wrong with me? Marinette couldn't stop the thoughts from running through her head. It had been a full year. To the day! February 25th. Today was the day. It was that day. The day Adrian left Marinette for Chloe. Marinette sat in her room crying. This was the house they were supposed to live in. The house they were supposed to grow old in. He was just about to move in. And then he said he didn't love Marinette anymore and realized that Chloe was the only one for him. Tiki wasn't even there to console Marinette, and Alia was off on her honeymoon. Marinette had no one. He said he loved me. He said we'd be together forever. He said that we were Ladybug and Shot Noir, the bug and cat team, she said to no one. He had said it, but clearly he didn't mean it. Clearly he didn't love her. Clearly it was all a lie, an act, a facade. Why was I so stupid? Why did I ever believe that Adrian Agreste would have ever loved me? Marinette sobbed. Hot tears ran down her face, dampening her clothes and sheets. Her hands were wet with salty tears, and her eyes red and swollen. She could hardly breathe, her nose stuffy and her lungs threatening to collapse. She felt her stomach push on into her and body ache. Her hands were shaking and she could barely move. She thought the days after the breakup was the worst. Being stuck in bed, unable to move. She hardly had the energy to even eat or drink water. Alia was constantly at her side, spooning soup into Marinette's mouth to keep her fed. Nina was always helping her move from place to place, because even taking 10 steps in her own home was too much for her to handle. Her parents helping her keep herself and her home tidy and neat. Kagami would bring her food, as Marinette didn't even have the motivation to make something. Alex, Rose, Julika, and Milan slowly coaxing her out of her shell and helping her take steps in the park to rejoin society. They protected her from bystanders, wanting to ask how the poor broken-hearted girl about the breakup and what she was going to do next. She thought that was the worst, but it wasn't. The worst part was now. Seeing a year had passed, it was real. It wasn't a nightmare. It wasn't an Akuma. It was real. Adrian really did leave her. Adrian really did love Chloe instead of her. Adrian and Chloe really were engaged. And Marinette really was alone. This was the worst. It didn't seem as bad. Now she could take care of herself, and she could get up in the mornings and go to work. She could make food and feed herself. She could go out and about in the city. She could live again. But everything felt so dull, so blank, like all the light and the color had been taken out of her life. There was meaning. Her friends had been her saviors, and her parents were still angels. There was meaning, but life was missing something. Someone. It was missing Adrian. And she'd never have him back.